कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्तेः षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति ददाति प्रतिगृह्णाति गुह्यम् आख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोजयते चैव षड्विधिं पीरिति लक्षणं कृष्णेति यस्य गिरितं मनसा ध्रियेत दीक्षास्ति चेत् प्रणतिभिश्च भजन्तमीशम् निन्दादिशून्य शुश्रूषया भजन विज्ञमनन्यमन्य निन्दादिशून्यहृदमीप्सित संगलब्ध्या दृष्टय स्वभावजनिते वपुषश्च दोषे न प्राकृतत्वम् इह भक्तजनस्य पश्येत् गङ्गाम्बसां न खलु बुधबुधफेन पङ्के ब्रह्मद्रवत्वमवगच्छति नीरधर्मे स्यात् कृष्णनामचरितादिसितापि अविद्या पित्तोपतप्तरसनस्य नरोचिकाणु किन्तु आदरातेन कलुषैव जुष्टा स्वाद्विक्रमाद् भवति तद्गदमूलहन्त्री तन्नामरूपचरितादि सुकीर्तनाणु स्मृत्यो क्रमेण रसना मनसि नियोज्य तिष्ठन् व्रजे तदनुरागी जनानुगामी कालं नयेदखिलमिति उपदेशसारम् वैकुण्ठाज्जनितो वरमधुपुरी तत्रापि रासोत्सवात् बृन्दारण्यमुदारपानिरमनात् तत्रापि गोवर्धनः राधाकुण्डम् इहापि गोकुलपतेः प्रेमामृता आप्लावनात् कुर्याद् अस्य विराजतो गिरितटे सेवां विवेकी न कः कर्मिभ्यः परितो हरिप्रियतया व्यक्तिं ययुज्ञानिनः तेभ्यो ज्ञानविमुक्तभक्तिपरमा प्रेमैकनिष्ठास्ततः तेभ्यस्तः पशुपालपङ्कजदृशः ताभ्योऽपि साराधिका प्रेष्ठात् तद्वदीयं तदीयसरसि तां नाश्रयेत् कः कृती कृष्णस् उच्च प्रणयवसतिः प्रेयसीभ्योऽपि राधा कुण् चास्य मुनिभिरभितस्तादृगेव व्यधायि यत्प्रेष्ठे अपि अलम् असुलभम् किं पुनर्भक्तिभाजाम् तत्प्रेमेदं सकृदपि सरः स्नातुराविष्करोति इति श्री उपदेशामृतम्. Hare Krishna. So we'll start with prayers. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuः Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manahavishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroः Shri Padakamalam Shri Guruna Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरतुष्ये नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. Okay. Hmm. So last time we were discussing the fifth verse, and today we have to go to the sixth verse. Okay.
Prabhuji, we discussed fourth verse.
No, no, we did the fifth verse, Mataji.
Okay. So last time devotee were suggesting that we can do revision in a more systematic way. Anish bro, is there something you would you like to tell on that?
As in what we did last time, right?
You were there in the end. Some devotees were giving feedback about doing the revision little systematically, and we can allot or appoint some devotees to do some particular parts of the verse to do revision. Otherwise, everybody shares a point from here and there and not sequentially. So some devotees are requested like that.
So
So
she actually had left at the in the last five
okay,
minutes, I think.
okay, no problem.
Yes.
So then maybe we can do it next time. Basically, the point they were saying is we can already appoint some devotees, different devotees for different shlokas for doing a revision so that it happens systematically, and some part of the shloka can be given to them. Okay, like last time we discussed fifth verse. So there we had three parts of the shloka. First line was about those who are not initiated. Second one is those who are initiated. And then third one was those who are initiated, but yet they are bhajan vigya. They are advanced in the knowing the science of the bhakti. So like these three parts were there in the shloka. So each devotee could be appointed for each of these. So I was traveling, so I could not give much attention to that. So maybe next time if we can do like that, you can allot devotees. I will tell how many parts there are there in the shloka, and then accordingly you can allot different devotees at the end of the session, and then they can do revision. Okay.
Oh, yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
We can do
So
it for next time.
next time, yeah. So fifth verse, we can have short revision, and devotees can share in this sequence. Like the first one was Krishneti Yasigiri Tam Manasa Adriyeta. So we should respect those who are uh, chanting the Krishna's holy name, but the initiation may not have happened. So some devotees can share few points on that. What Prabhupada told in his purport about that. Okay, you can raise your hand. Those who want to share.
Mataji, maybe you can ask someone to do it.
Okay, Sharayu Mataji has raised hand. Yeah, yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
In this five verse, Rup Goswami tells us about how we should select Vaishnavas as our friend and how we should serve them.
Hmm.
Um, and in that, Rup Goswami that says that there are three types of devotees. First one, that is the Kanishtha Adhikari. In
Hmm.
that this Krikshanti part goes. These types of devotees, they got the Harinam initiation from their spiritual master, and they
Hmm.
are just engaged in the chanting the holy name of Krishna,
Hmm.
and they are also engaged in the worshipping the deities in the temple, but they just do not know how to behave with the other devotees.
Yeah,
And
Kanishta Adhikari.
yes, that's it. And we should respect that these devotees come under the Kanishta Adhikari status, and we should respect them by as a Kanishta Adhikari by mind only.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we
Mm.
should not anytime disrespect any devotee.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
but at the same time, we discriminate whom to give more respect. So I was giving the example from Krishna Bhajanamrit, Naresh Sarkar Chakra. He says that how a father should be given respect, and
Yes,
then
yes.
grandfather should be given double respect, like
Yes.
that. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so
Thank
somebody can share about the second pada, second line of the verse. Diksha asti chet pranati bhi bhajantam isham. So those whose initiation happened, what we discussed. Yeah, Mahadev, bro.
Yes, Prabhuji. According to the Prabhupada's purport, the Prabhupada tells that this definition is as per the Madhyamadikari, and the Madhyamadikari worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the highest object of loves, and make a friendship with the Lord's devotee, and be merciful to the ignorance, and avoid those who are envious by the nature. This is the definition of the Madhyamadikari.
Okay.
Yes, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, and then last part of the verse we were discussing how Rupa Goswami writes that Sushrushaya Bhajana Vigya Ananyam Anya Nindadi Sunya Hridayam Ipsita Sangalabdya. So the Uttamadhikari devotee characteristics are mentioned. Yeah. So somebody would like to share on that? Yeah, Ashish Prabhu.
Yes, sir. Right. So, Ninda Shunyam, the Uttamadhikari is the one uh, who does not even think of Ninda, basically the what we call in English. Yeah,
Criticism.
yeah, criticism. So, he does not think of that, and even he does not listens to it. If somebody is talking, he will not even listen to that.
Mm.
So that
Yeah.
is Uttamadhikari.
Yeah. Okay, something from what Prabhupada writes.
Yeah. So I haven't read the analogy for.
Yeah, okay. Somebody else can share from the purport. Okay. Yeah. Pratik Prabhu or Mataji. Yeah.
Yes, Guruji, as the translation goes, so Bhajan Vigya means the one he is a devotee who has knowledge of devotional service, and Ananyam who is engaged undeviatedly in the devotional service, and Ananya Nindadi Shunyam, he is devoid of criticizing others. So Prabhupada says in the purport that what is that? Out of the two, like the Kanishta and Madhyama, there will be one out of them who will be who is found to be engaged very seriously in the devotional service, and his name should be sought.
Yeah. 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 Somebody can share also about taking initiation. Prabhupada writes in the purport whom one should take initiation from. Okay. Before that, yeah, Vrajpati Gopinath Prabhu, you want to share something?
Initiation. So he's always thinking about how to expand Krishna conscious movement. Samadhikari.
Yeah.
And he's very seriously engaging in the service of the Lord and strictly follow the regulative principles. We mainly what Uttamadhikari is, he's always far from Ninda, and he's very strong in the Sastric conventions, and he's always in the mood of expanding Krishna consciousness, like in a compassionate way.
Yeah. 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 One more point Prabhupada told that the caliber of the advancement of the Vaishnava can be seen how the Vaishnava has changed the life of others and brought them to Vaishnavism. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else want to share? Balraj Prabhu.
Prabhupada writes in the purport that Uttamadhikari is in the heart, he's completely clean and he's in a realized state of unalloyed devotional service. And we should desire to take association. Rupa Goswami actually says that we should be desiring to take association of such. So that.
Yeah.
To talk about initiation, we should be taking initiation from the Uttamadhikari.
Not clear, Proji. What you said
And
last?
so you talked about the initiation, right? So we should be
Yeah.
taking the Uttamadhikari.
Uttamadhikari, yeah. So even one can take initiation from Kanishtadhikari or Madhyamadhikari, but one has to understand that they will be able to bring the disciple only to the level they are at. So yeah, like that. Yeah. Thank you, Proji. Yes, Shariyu Mataji.
Prabhupada says that who should going to take initiation when one should be interested in the transcendental science of absolute truth. Then he should be approached for the initiation, and who should not be take the initiation. Such devotees who are taking initiation just to show off will not take the initiation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Deepika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Here, Prabhupada is saying that one has to raise himself from the position of from Kanishta Adhikari through to the Madhyam Adhikari, constant in a constant process by hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Thank you. So then I will start with the verse number 6 today. Okay. So just to put the things in right context. So till now we have discussed about the first verse saying how the different urges should be controlled, and they are even preliminary to bhakti. They are not even limbs of bhakti. So, and then second and third verses, they described about do's and don'ts in bhakti, what the sadhaka should be doing, why the sadhaka specifically, and what they should not be doing, so that their bhakti doesn't destroy or it progresses. And then fourth verse, we discussed how after doing do's and don'ts, the devotee should be reciprocating with others to deepen their own bhakti. And in order to reciprocate, the verse 5 says we have to discriminate that whom we should reciprocate and exchange loving. We should do loving exchanges with. Okay, so three category of devotees were described now. And then gradually now sixth verse, now Guru Goswami is going to describe that there may be some faults also in those devotees. There may be Kanishtadhikari, Madhyama, and Uttamadhikari. Some faults may be there, which are seen externally also sometime. So how to understand these faults which are there in Vaishnavas and how to deal with it. Okay, so that we are going to discuss now. Okay, is my PPT visible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so we will recite this verse, and all of you can recite with me, keeping yourself on mute. दृष्टः स्वभावजनितैर्वपुषश्च दोषैर्नाप्राकृतत्वम् इह भक्तजनस्य पश्येत् गङ्गाम्बसां न खलु बुधफेन पङ्कैः ब्रह्मद्रवत्वम् अपगच्छति नीरधर्मैः. Okay. Yes, Anish, would you like to read the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji. Being situated in his original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with the body. Such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee as having a body born in a low family, a body with a bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or infirm body. According to ordinary vision, such imperfections may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee, but despite such seeming defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like the waters of Ganga, which sometimes during the rainy season are full of bubbles, foam, and mud. The Ganga waters do not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in the Ganga without considering the condition of the water.
Yeah, thank you very much. So here, very important verse is there, because when we associate with devotees, all of us have this practical difficulty that we see different faults in them. Okay, so he says drishta hai means having seen. Okay, what swabhava janita hai, something which is born from their swabhava. Okay, means it's something which is conditioned to them through their past lives or through this life, past habits. So due to their past habits, something is janite. Janite means to having born. Okay. And what else? Vapushascha. And those faults may be seen even in body. Okay, dosha. These are faults. Yeah. So the for them it is a na prakritatvam. Okay. So such imperfections may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee. Okay, where it is in iha bhakta jana, in the bhakta jana. Pashyat, having seen, they are seeing, we are able to see. So then Rupa Goswami gives the analogy. What is the analogy? Ganga ambasam. Ambu means water. Ambasam. Okay, Sashti Vibhakti. Yeah. So just like the Ganges water, गंगा के पानी का ऐसे बोल रहे हाँ गंगा अम्भसम. What happens in Ganges water? He says खलु बुदबुद फेन पंके. Fena means foam. Okay. And panka. Pankaja means is lotus. Panka means mud or कीचड़ हिंदी में बोलते हैं. तो panka is that. So pankaj, that which is born from panka or the mud is lotus. So panka means that which is mud. Okay. What is seen? Fena and panka. These two are seen. In what? Ganga. Okay. When it's seen sometimes in rainy season, muddy water, it becomes muddy. The whole water becomes contaminated. So he says, but actually they are not polluted. Actually, the water is not corrupted. Why? Brahma Dravatvam. It is not ordinary water. Okay. Okay. It's not ordinary water. Similarly, the devotees have a spiritual touch. Even though they may be sadhakas, but they are having spiritual touch. What is spiritual touch? As we have discussed earlier, there are two parts in a devotee. One is their swabhava, other is shraddha. Shraddha is spiritual. They have the goal of practicing bhakti for attaining Krishna prem. So their goal is spiritual, but their condition they are in is still having impurity. They want to purify them through the path of bhakti, and the process is called anath nivritti. That will happen. But still the anarthas are there. They are not fully gone. So swabhava janita vapushascha dosha is there. The fault due to their swabhava or vapu. Okay, these are there. But we have to understand Brahma Dravattam. They have a spiritual touch. Just like the Ganges is not ordinary water. That's water is seeming to be muddy and with foams, but actually it is the foot wash of Lord Vishnu. Okay, like that. Brahma Dravattam apagachati neer dharma hai. Neer dharma means constitutional position or the nature of something. What is the nature of neer? Neer is the here water is Ganges water. Okay. So the Ganges water always goes ahead, goes. So that will be explained in the purport. We will see. Okay. So the Ganges water do not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water. So the very same thing that the sadhakas should be able to see the spiritual part and take that part. And whatever faults are there, they should be overlooked. Okay. And when a person will be able to see the faults or why we are able to see, because prakritatvam, because we are seeing through a materialistic point of view. See, Prabhupada used that word in the translation, materialistic point of view. So when we see them through a materialistic point of view, so there are four things mentioned. Arche Shiladi. Okay, means to see the deities as Shila, that is stone. Gurushu Narmati. To see the Guru Janas or the spiritual master, Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru, as ordinary human being. Okay. Vaishnava Jati Buddhi. Means in the Vaishnavas, seeing them of a particular caste. Okay, all that. Okay, Vaishnava Jati Buddhi. Okay. So these things are seeing the externals. Okay. And here also Prabhupada has written in the translation few important words. One should overlook what a body born in low family. Okay, so these are all included in Vapushascha dosha. A body with a bad complexion. or body with a good complexion. Sometimes devotees think, oh, somebody who is fair in color or somebody who is Western, the body is glowing so much, they are more advanced. So these are not the considerations for selecting a guru. Otherwise, Rupa Goswami would have included that in fifth verse. That Uttamadhikari means who has a very glowing body, body, very white complexion like that. He has not included those things. What he has told, Bhajan Vigya, Ananya, and Anya Nindadi Shunya. These three things he has mentioned. He has not written that they should not have bodily deformity. That he did not tell. Or a diseased body. So some advanced Vaishnavas may have a disease. Okay. So that should not be seen as their non-advancement. Okay, like that. Yeah. Okay, so now we will read Radharaman Das Goswami's introductory commentary, Upadesha Prakashika, to this verse. Yeah. Okay. Yes, so who would like to read? Please. Yeah, Vidita Mataji. Mataji. Yeah.
Due to their residing within the material world, your devotees seem to have some apparent
Voice is not coming.
defects from the
Your voice is
mundane
breaking, Mataji.
perspective. Nevertheless, we should not words to be ordinary conditions.
Maybe somebody else can read. I think you are on mobile data. Yeah. 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 Ashish Bro, please read.
Yes. Due to their residing within the material world, pure devotee seems to have some apparent defects from the mundane perspective. Nevertheless, we should not consider such devotee to be a material or, in other words, to be ordinary conditioned soul. If one notices imperfection in their nature, such a harshness, anger, greed, and so forth, or imperfections in their bodies, such a lack of cleanliness, ugliness, aging, and so on, he should never assign mundane attribute to them. It is impossible for these mundane imperfections to exist within the devotee's spiritually perfected bodies. Therefore, to perceive these mundane defects in elevated devotee is offensive. This point has been made clear by example of Ganges water.
Yeah. Thank you, Bruji. Yeah. So Radharaman Das Goswami is setting the tone of the verse. So why the apparent fault is seen? Because they are in metal world. Metal world is full of faults. So because they are having a residence in the metal world and a touch of the metal world, so the apparent faults are seen. But actually there are no faults like that, he is saying. So we should not consider such devotees to be material. They are spiritual, but the conditioned soul sees them as material. Okay. So what are the imperfections that is seen? Harshness, anger, greed, and so forth. These are all imperfections which are not for the gross body. They may be in the subtle body. Okay. And the imperfection in the gross body, such as lack of cleanliness, ugliness, aging, so on. You should never assign mundane attributes to them. Yeah. So these things are seen in the devotees. So that doesn't mean that we completely ignore these things, that these things don't exist. No, these are reality and we identify them, but we don't discriminate based on them. Okay. What is the meaning of identifying them? So we have to identify our own nature and the nature of the great souls. So whichever nature is sajatiya to us, that we have to associate with. Whichever is making us favorable and go ahead in bhakti, that we have to associate with. Not that we overlook all the natures and they are not existing at all. Not in that sense. Okay. So we don't attribute non-advancement because they are harsh or they are angry. But we have to see what makes us have experience of favorability in bhakti. Which Vaishnava? Okay, like that. And at the same time, there is another thing which also is seen is as the devotee advance, these all imperfections will go away. Okay. So we can understand, yes, Srila Prabhupada also sometimes become angry. Srila Prabhupada also, anybody offered a lot of Lakshmi, he would accept. That doesn't mean he is greedy or he is angry, or Srila Prabhupada would chastise disciples sometime. But we have to understand that impulse of such chastisement or accumulation of money or anger is not based on material impulse. Okay, that is based on the service to the Lord. But there may be Vaishnavas where they are not so advanced, and their anger, harshness, or accumulation of money may not be as pure as Srila Prabhupada has. They may be having their impure nature, and that also may be impulsing, apart from their spiritual nature. Okay, so as one advances, the anger, harshness, or greed and all coming from their material nature or swabhava will become gradually less. Okay, and it will be more from the spiritual part. Okay, so that is the point here. Okay, and it is impossible for the mundane imperfection to exist within devotees' spiritually perfect bodies. So when the devotees become qualified to receive a spiritual body, these things will not exist. Okay, and to perceive these mundane defects and to criticize above that and to spread that okay, this Vaishnava has this fault is all aparadha. Okay, but at the same time to identify such so that it doesn't give us a unfavorable experience in our bhakti is not a fault. Okay, that is not an offense. An example is of Ganges water. Okay, so this is what Radharam Das Goswami is saying. Okay, yeah, so we will go to the next commentary. This actually Srila Prabhupada has written a smaller commentary, so we'll take Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary also in this. Piyush Varshini Vritti. Yeah, and we'll read this. Yeah, somebody would like to read? Yeah, Priya Gaurangi Mataji.
The instruction of this sixth verse is that it is improper to perceive mundane defects in pure devotees and to consider them to be mere conditioned souls. It is impossible for pure devotees to fall into bad association or to commit offenses to the holy name. Perhaps there can be some imperfections in their bodies and in their natures. Lack of cleanliness, deformity, ugliness, old age, and so forth are bodily imperfections. Birth in a low caste, harshness, lethargy, and so forth are imperfections in one's character. The water of the Ganges is considered to be pure despite their nature appearance of bubbles, foam, mud, and so on within it, and its nature as liquefied transcendence is not lost. Similarly, Vaishnavas who have realized their eternal identities are not contaminated by the natural transformations of the physical body, such as birth, aging, death, and so on. Therefore, even upon observing imperfections in a pure Vaishnava, one intent on performing bhajan should never disrespect him. One intent on performing bhajan should never disrespect him. By disrespecting such a personality, one becomes an offender, aparadhi.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So yeah, again, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying similar thing. So he has little bit more elaborated, and Prabhupada will elaborate even more. So he has told the imperfections in two categories. Okay, first very important thing is that perfected devotees don't have any imperfections. So what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing? It is improper to perceive mundane defects in pure devotees. Which kind of pure devotees? So then he is saying, okay, where is that word? He said, okay, he told na they are having perfected bodies. Okay, okay, we'll read ahead. Yeah. So in pure devotee and to consider them to be mere conditioned souls. So, yeah, this is not good to consider them as mere conditioned souls, just like any other person on the road. They are not in any bhakti. Like that, one starts considering even pure devotees that because they have faults, they are also like ordinary people. That is a fault. So now he's saying it is impossible for pure devotees to fall into bad association or to commit offenses to the holy name. Okay. So pure devotees here mean not those who are pure sadhakas or those who have Shraddha is pure, but those who are perfected devotees. Okay, they have received their spiritual body. Perhaps there can be some imperfection in their bodies and in their natures. Why such imperfection can be there? Because they are in the material world. And what are imperfections? He is saying two categories: bodily and those which basically gross and subtle. So that we discussed already. And water of the Ganges is considered to be pure Brahma Dravatvam. Okay. Even though there may be Fena and Panka. Fena Panka. Okay. So it is the nature itself is liquid transcendence, liquefied transcendence. Brahma Dravatvam. That is our translation. Liquefied transcendence. That nature is not lost. Okay. Similarly, devotees having Shraddha, which is faith, which is spiritual, is not lost, how much ever they may be having conditioning, bad habits. That's a we will see Srila Bhakti Sadhakar quotes this verse. Api chet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hisaha. Okay, that verse he will quote Bhakti Thakur, because how much ever the external difficulty may be there, but the internal Shraddha purity remains like that. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says now Vaishnavas who have realized their eternal identity. Yeah, see this is what this is what I was saying. They have realized their eternal identities are not contaminated. But there may be Vaishnavas who are not realized their eternal identity. They may have some difficulty. Okay, in their they may have anarthas basically. Okay. Yeah. Therefore, even upon observing imperfection, such a pure Vaishnava, one intent of performing bhajan should never disrespect. So there is no question of disrespect, because previous verse itself said Krishneti asigritam manasa adriyata. Even those who are chanting once, we should do manasa adriyata, respect in the mind. So disrespecting such a very advanced devotee who has realized their eternal identity is surely a aparad to see their external. So if we are not able to gel with them nicely and we are not able to interact with such advanced devotees nicely because of difference of our own nature and their own nature, then we do a respectful distance. We keep a respectful distance from them. Okay. So we may have some devotee in the community whom we may not be able to have good communication or will not be able to gel with. So we should keep a respectful distance from them. Okay. And they may be surely very advanced. But the point is that they are not Sajatiya, Satovara and Snigdha for to us. So their association will not benefit us much. Okay. So that's how Rupa Goswami defined Sadhu Sangha itself. Sajatiya, Satovara and Snigdha. Okay. Yes. So we'll read Prabhupada's commentary because yeah, we'll take questions. We'll take Prabhupada's. Yeah, okay, we'll take questions first. Yes, Swami Mataji, you have any question?
Realize their eternal identity, meaning they have realized their swarup, something like that, or they have realized that they are eternal servant, the Lord. The pure devotees are here.
Vaishnavas who have realized their eternal identity are not going. Yeah, so this word, na, I will have to see in the Sanskrit commentary or Bengali what Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written exactly. Okay, and because different devotees translate that word in different ways, so I will have to see and then tell. But here the understanding is that they have reached to a very higher state, at least Bhava Bhakti. Okay, they have realized their relationship with the Lord. So it's not just any devotee who is thinking that I am Krishna is a Nitya Das. Okay, not sadhakas. Okay, advanced devotees like that. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yes, Privarangi Mataji.
Prabhuji, this Piyush Varshini Vritti is from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur or Bhakti Vinod Thakur Maharaj?
Piyush Varshini Vritti is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's. See, Upadesh Prakashika is Radharaman Das Goswami. Piyush Varshini Vritti is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's. And then following that is called Anuvritti. Okay, that is Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. Okay, like that. Okay. Mahadev Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have just question. Prabhuji, sometimes for me, this question regarding me, sometimes I see that some Maharaj from Africa. In my mind, some thoughts comes, like negative thoughts come, but I never disrespect. That thoughts is also coming under the aparad or what?
What thoughts come?
Sometimes we see the bodily complexion, and sometimes we say, oh, so black, or something like that.
Yeah.
Thoughts come in mind, but we respect and we hear the Maharaj, and but sometimes come that is again aparadha, or what
Okay.
category will come?
Yeah. Okay. I will answer this question. This is mentioned in Madhuri Kadamini. Okay. Third shar. What is aparadha? Okay. Mm, okay. Huh. Mm, okay. Yeah. Okay. Is it visible, project screen?
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah. Okay. So aparadhas are categorized into parts: Nam Aparadha and Seva Aparadha. Okay. So what are the Nam Aparadhas? The 10 offenses we chant daily. They are called Nam Aparadha. Okay. In that, we are specifically talking about first and third. Offense to those who are preaching or spreading the movement, and offense to those who are our Guru Janas. Okay. So they come under Nam Aparadha. What is definition of Nam Aparadha? Okay. Now I am showing the definition of Nam Aparadha. Okay. Yeah, please read this.
The anarthas arising from offenses arise specially from the now aparadha. The seva aparadha, offenses in daily worship such as entering the temple with shoes on or in a vehicle are in themselves not a direct cause of anartha. For seva aparadha do not usually have effect on the real devotee because by constant service, by chanting the holy name, and by recitation of specific words that have the power to cancel the effect of any seva. The fortunate attentive devotee produces a daily destruction of the effort of being offensive. However, if one is careless, thinking he can take the advantage of the protection offered by the above measures, his seva aparadha becomes a nama aparadha and anartha that will obstruct his progress. He is guilty of the nama aparadha of committing sin on the plains of the.
Yeah, so what is the point made by Vishnu Chadakur in this here till now is that there are two types of offenses, Namaprad and Sevaprad. Sevaprad are those which are like not done generally consciously. Okay. So he is saying examples are like entering the temple with shoes. So somebody unconsciously he might have entered like that. Devotees generally don't do like that. Okay. So they are not very, very detrimental to our bhakti unless one is careless. If one becomes careless, thinking that okay, anyhow, these are not very grave offenses, and it's okay, chalta hai. When that consciousness comes, then what happens? These small aparadhas become big
Nama.
aparadha, nam aparadha, and then what happens is that obstruct the progress. Okay, okay. Now read this. Yeah.
Committing sin on the strength of name means committing sin on the strength of all actions of the body, not just the name. They all destroy the effect of sin, even according to the Dhamma Shastra, the scripture dealing with the force of karma. If one willfully commits sin of the strength of Prashchitta, remedial measures of the commission of sin, then the effect of the sin will not be destroyed, but rather increased.
Okay. So nam aparadh he is defining committing sin on the strength of the name. So here it's not only holy name, but it's all the limbs of bhakti. Okay. It may be Bhagavatam. Somebody thinks, okay, I will not chant the name, but I will recite Bhagavatam to destroy my sins. or I will do deity worship to destroy the sins. So these all are included into Namaprad. It's not only the holy name chanting. Okay. But the point I'm making here is that these are all done willfully. But when you are saying that, you may see some Maharaj who may be from Africa or having black complexion, you are you doing it willfully, or are you doing it because you are conditioned and you want to remove it? So that you will have to find out in yourself. If it is done willfully, then it is Namaprad. Okay, that yes, today I found a Maharaj who is black in complexion, and see how much he is having deformity in his body. Okay, so willfully done things are, or you are spreading it to others. So Namaprad is always, we have to understand this, it should be out of envy, out of hatred, or out of malice. These three words here, Vishwanath Jadakur is using ahead when we go na. He will use these three words. Okay, disrespect to Vaishnavas. See here. Yeah. So what is Sadhu Ninda? Read this.
Sadhaninda or criticism of Vaishnavas is the first offense. The word Ninda means any, animosity or malice, as well as the criticism of literal meaning. If by chance this offense occurs, the person should be repentant, recognize his own law nature in having the committing the offense. The same
Yeah,
way,
sufficient. Yeah. So basically, he's saying the word Ninda means animosity. So you have to see whether you are animus to that person, or you are having malice towards that person, or are you willingly criticizing that person. If these things are there, then it is called disrespect for Vaishnavas. Then it is called Sadhu Ninda, or the first or third offense will happen. Okay, but if it is happening by chance, then the person should be repentant, and that is not considered as a serious offense. So many times devotees have this confusion whether I am, even if it happens by chance, am I doing a Namaprad? No, we are not doing Namaprad at that time. So generally the example is given, no. But Rupa Goswami, he laughed on that Vaishnava who was limping. And then even though it was not done willingly, but his meditation broke. Okay, generally that example is given as the reference. But that is not the example for Vaishnava Aparad. That is the example for Rupa Goswami is setting the example that even Seva Aparad, which is not done willingly, can have effect on the bhajan. Okay. So one should be careful. Okay. But that is not Namaprad. Namaprad is defined here by Vishwanath Thakur like this. Okay. It should be out of animosity, malice, or criticism. Okay. Like that. And if we have to communicate something which we are wanting to communicate, that is not out of animosity, malice, or criticism, then it is not Namaprad. Okay. That is the understanding. Is it okay, Praji? Okay. Thank you. So we'll go to the Srila Prabhupada's. Okay. Pratik Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, you spoke one sentence that we identify these imperfections, but we do not discriminate based on them. So I want to understand this statement regarding all three kinds of devotees. I mean, we identify the imperfections. In case of pure devotees, I understand that we don't have to discriminate based on imperfections. But what about matlab madhyamas or kanishthas, means all kinds of devotees whom we interact with in our daily life? So how do we understand that after identification, when do we discriminate and when do we not discriminate? This is one confusion that came.
Yeah. See, when I use that word identify and discriminate, I used it in the sense that identify means we are not blind to the imperfections. Krishna has given us intelligence and we use it. We don't become blind to these imperfections. Why? Because Sadhu Sangha is not just any Sangha is Sadhu Sangha. Sajatiya, Satovara, and Snigdha. Sajati means like-minded. Snigdha means affectionate. Satovara means superior. That is the definition of Sadhu Sangha. So we don't have to be blind to identifying that who is sadhu for us. For everybody, sadhu is different. Whoever is affectionate, like-minded, and superior to them, for them, they are sadhus. But every Vaishnava may not be favorable giving favorable association to us. So for some Vaishnavas, they may not be fully pure. They may be Madhyama and Kanishta, and they may have such imperfections which are not good for us to associate with them. And we are going down in our bhakti. Then we keep respectful distance from them by identifying that there are some faults which are not good for me to associate with. So we identify it. We don't become blind to it. And discrimination, when I used, I meant that we start criticizing, or we start going to a degree that yes, this is higher and this is lower based on externals. Okay, not like that. Okay, so yeah, there is surely we have to identify who is Kanishta, who is Madhyama, who is Uttama to select a guru. Okay, but when we start going in that zone that okay, this is my guru and this is best, but all others are not good, then it is called aparad. Okay, there is difference between identifying and discriminating and criticizing. Okay, so we have to identify who is higher grade of Vaishnava and accept them as our guru, but we don't disrespect or criticize other Vaishnavas then. Okay, like that. Is it okay, Mataji? Okay, yeah.
Yes,
So thank you. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So now we'll read Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport. Okay, so who would like to read this? Yes, Sandeep Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Suddha Bhakti, the activity of the soul proper. In other words, engagement in the
Just 1
transcendental.
minute, Prabhu. 1 minute, just a minute. I have my book somewhere. Okay, just I'll bring back my book because otherwise I won't know where to stop. The paragraph ends. Just give me a minute.
Sure.
I'll bring my book. So I think is it okay if we take a 5 minutes break now? It's already 12, and
Yes,
this purport is quite short. Okay, so we will begin at
Break.
12:05. Okay, so just remind me to resume the recording. Yeah, yeah, please read.
Suddha Bhakti, the activity of the soul proper. In other words, engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord is performed in a liberated condition. In Bhagavad Gita 14.26, it is said, Mamcha Mamcha Bhakti Yogena Sevate Saguna. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Person engaged in devotional service must be free from material motives. In this Krishna consciousness movement, one's consciousness must be changed. If consciousness is aimed towards material enjoyment, it is material consciousness, and if it is aimed at towards serving Krishna, it is Krishna consciousness. A surrendered soul serves Krishna without material consideration. Anyabhilasita Sunyam Bhakti Rasama Sindhu 1.1.11. Jnana Karma, the Anavritam, unalloyed devotional service, which is transcendental to the activities of the body mind, such as Jnana, mental speculation, and Karma, fruitive work, is called pure Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is the proper activity of the soul. And when one actually engages in devotional service, he's already liberated. Sagunana Samitita Dhyani. Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Krishna's devotee is not subjected to material condition, even though his bodily feature may appear materially conditioned. One should therefore not see a pure devotee from a materialistic point of view. Unless one is actually a devotee, he cannot see another devotee perfectly.
Yeah,
As
complete this
explained in the
paragraph.
previous verse, yes, sir. As explained in the previous verse, there are three types of devotees: Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari cannot distinguish between a devotee and non-devotee. He is simply concerned with worshipping the deity in the temple.
Now, yeah, this also.
A Madhyavadikari, however, can distinguish between the Lord. Thus, he treats the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotee, and the non-devotees in different ways. No one should criticize the bodily defects of a pure devotee.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah. So, yeah, so Prabhupada is beginning the whole purport with Shuddha Bhakti definition. So, two definitions he has pointed out. One is from Bhagavad Gita. So, he is saying 14.26, Mamacha avyabhicharena. That word he is focusing. What is avyabhichar? So, he is saying that explanation of that is from Anyabhilashita Shunyam, unalloyed devotion. So, he is connecting that word avyabhicharini. Means vyabhichar means what? That which is deviation or fall down. Avyabhichar which is undeviated, unalloyed. So where is the definition given? That is given in Bhakti Samar Sindhu, as we have discussed. And what are the different parts of the definition? First is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. There is should not be any other goal. See, Prabhupada has used very important word. Okay, if consciousness is aimed toward, the aim of the person itself is material enjoyment, then it is not Shuddha Bhakti. But if there is anarthas of material enjoyment, which the person wants to remove, then it is pure Bhakti. Okay. He has goal of Krishna Prema, but his aim is not material enjoyment. His aim is Krishna Prema or serving Krishna. See in the second part of the line what he's saying. And if it is aimed towards serving, okay, Krishna, it is Krishna consciousness. So this aim of the life is very important. The aim is material enjoyment or the aim is service to Krishna. Sometimes in service to Krishna, there may be some material enjoyment due to the conditioning, but that is not disqualifying the person from practicing Shuddha Bhakti. That is the point. And other factors of the verse, Gyan Karmadi Anavritam, that is also he is counting as Avya Vicharini, like that. Okay. And then he's coming, okay, such a practitioner of bhakti, such a devotee is not subjected to material condition, even though material deformity may be there. And for us, it's not good to see them with a materialistic point of view. Okay. Why we are not able to see? Because we are ourselves not perfect. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur would many times give this example that the needle may criticize the what you say, that chalni दूसरे soup को Hindi we say that that is there. So matlab there are so many holes in the sometimes the Mataji is used na for removing the sand or dust particle from the wheat.
Sieve,
What
sieve,
sieve.
sieve, sieve, sieve,
Sieve,
chunni, sieve.
chalni, sieve. So basically the needle is criticizing a sieve and sieve is criticizing a needle. So Prabhupada is writing very importantly, unless one is actually a devotee, he cannot see another devotee perfectly. So if we are ourselves not having that very high consciousness, we will see faults in others. Okay, like that. Okay, and then Prabhupada is now saying that yeah, there are categories of devotees. Practically, we have to understand that there are categories of devotees. It's not that we just shut down our intelligence and understand everybody is to be respected equally. Not like that. There are levels of devotees, as explained in the previous, Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. These three categories of devotees are there. The Kanishtadhikari is also having some characteristics that he is not able to distinguish between devotee and non-devotee at all. And Madhyamadikari is able to distinguish devotee and non-devotee, and devotee and the Lord. He is higher. So the use of intelligence is there, but the criticism is not good based on externals. Okay. See, Prabhupada is ending this. No one should criticize the bodily defects of a pure devotee. Okay. And if there are such defects, that should be overlooked. Yeah. Then what should we look into? One should be seeing only the spiritual master's main business, which is devotional service. Okay. Like that. Yeah. So that we'll discuss now, this part. We have to read this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Somebody else can read from this last. We read till here. No one should criticize. From here you can read. Yeah. Yes, Radhika Gopi.
No one should criticize the bodily defects of a pure devotee. If there are such defects, they should be overlooked. What should be taken into account is the spiritual master's main business, which is devotional service, pure service to the Supreme Lord. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.30, Apichetso duracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. Even if Apichet, the most sinful person, Suduracharo, worships me, bhajate mam, with no other desire than to please me, Ananya Bhav, I consider that person to be my devotee, Sadhu Reva Samantavya, as he has fixed himself completely in me, Samyak Vyavasato Hi Saha. Even though a pure devotee may not be born in a Brahmana or Goswami family, if he is engaged in the service of the Lord, he should not be neglected. In actuality, there cannot be a family of Goswamis based on material considerations, caste, or heredity. The Goswami title is actually the monopoly of the pure devotees. Thus, we speak of the 6 Goswamis headed by Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami had practically become Mohammedans and had therefore changed their names to Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself made them Goswamis. Therefore, the Goswami title is not hereditary. The word Goswami refers to one who can control his senses, who is master of the senses. A devotee is not controlled by the senses, but is the controller of the senses. Consequently, he should be called Swami or Goswami, even though he may not be born in a Goswami family. According to this formula, the Goswamis who are descendants of Sri Nityanand Prabhu and Sri Advait Prabhu are certainly devotees, but devotees coming from other families should not be discriminated against. Indeed, whether the devotees come from a family of previous acharyas or from an ordinary family, they should be treated equally. One should not think, oh, here is an American Goswami, and discriminate against him. Nor should one think, here is a Nityananda Vamsha Goswami. There is an undercurrent of protest against our awarding the title Goswami to the American Vaishnavas of the Krishna consciousness movement. Sometimes people flatly tell the American devotees that their sannyas or title of Goswami is not bona fide. However, according to the statements of Srila Rup Goswami in this verse, an American Goswami and a Goswami in a family of acharyas are non-different. On the other hand, a devotee who has attained the title of Goswami but is not born of a Brahmana father or of a Goswami in the family of Nityananda or Advait Prabhu should not be artificially puffed up thinking that he has become a Goswami. He should always remember that as soon as he becomes materially puffed up, he immediately falls down. This Krishna consciousness movement is a transcendental science, and there is no room for jealousy. This movement is meant for the Paramahamsas who are completely free from all jealousy. Paramam Nirmatsaranam. One should not be jealous whether he is born in a family of Goswamis or has the title of Goswami awarded to him. As soon as anyone becomes envious, he falls from the platform of Paramhansa.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. So here Prabhupada explained till now about the title Goswami. So yeah, very important point. He is saying that one should not criticize the bodily defects of pure devotee. What is the meaning of this pure devotee? What is the definition of this pure devotee? So he is quoting a verse from Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Apichet suduracharo. Even though there may be sudurachara, but the person is bhajate. What is he doing? He is doing bhajan. Of whom? Mam. Krishna is saying. He is doing my bhajan. How? What kind of bhajan he is doing? Ananya. Without deviation. Even though he might have committed something abominable, but he is doing my bhajan. What we should do? Sadhu. Mantavya. Sadhu manna chahiye usko. Why? Why should I consider him sadhu? Because samyak vyavasthito. Properly situated, na? He is properly situated, so you consider him as sadhu now. Like that Krishna is saying. This is what Prabhupada is quoting as the definition of pure devotee. No one should criticize the body defects of pure devotee. If there are such defects, they should be overlooked. What should be taken into account is the spiritual master's main business, which is devotional service, pure service to the Supreme Lord, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. See. So spiritual master's business, Prabhupada is explaining from this Apiche Sudrachara verse, that there may be some defects. Okay, like that. Yeah, and then Prabhupada goes into the title Goswami and then hereditary things. So basically, the point is saying, see, Goswami is not a family lineage. It is those set of people who have controlled their senses. So he's saying previously also first verse he told Go and Swami. In the first verse he had explained. Those who are control of the senses. They are called Goswami. So it's not something which is one family lineage, but these are the category of people, devotees, who have controlled their senses like that. And he gives Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami are the original Goswamis. Okay. So yeah, the word Goswami refers to one who has one who can control his senses, who is master of the senses like that. A devotee is not controlled by the senses, but is the control of the senses. So he's called Goswami, yeah. And then Advait Vamsha, Nityananda Vamsha, they are all very good devotees and different sampradayas, not sampradayas, Gaudiya Sampradaya only, but different Vamshas, Parivar. In Vrindavan also, when we see there are different Parivars who are doing worship of the different deities. So they're all glorious, but Prabhupada is cautioning here that one should not think that this American Goswami is not a actual Goswami. Only Indian Goswami or Indian Swamis are actual devotees. Okay, and one discriminates based on that. Oh, yes, I should take initiation only from Indian Guru. I should take initiation only from American Guru. I should take initiation only from German Guru. So these all are imperfect considerations for accepting a Guru like that. Yeah. And then he explains about the word Paramhamsa. Okay. Okay. Any questions are there? Yes, Priyavarani Nataji.
So, Prabhuji, I don't know, for it seems to be contradictory. If someone is sinful, how can he be so, how can he be a devotee? And that too pure devotee. Is it something like previously he was sinful and becomes devotee now, or something like that? I didn't understand completely. Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah. What is the time? 12:24, no? Mataji, is it okay if I complete this verse and then take the question?
Yes, yes, sure.
Yeah, actually, the same question is asked by Vishwanath Thakur in the commentary to Bhagavad Gita. He will answer that question. I will show you. You can read it later. Okay. Okay. So in short, basically, the devotee may be doing it parallelly also, sinful activity and bhakti, still is pure devotee. Okay. How we will see in the commentary. As of now, we will complete this first. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
For Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada,
this Goswami title, is it given or it is not given? Or I mean, how a Goswami title is given in?
Yeah, it's generally those who are taking to sannyas after being in Grihastha ashram. For them the title Goswami is given, like Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Okay, for them Srila Prabhupada gave, and those who have been celibates lifetime, for them he did not give, just give Swami. So it's not something which is hard and fast, I see. Uh, yeah, and sometimes the Babajis are also told as Goswamis. So I don't know actually exactly where and how it is used. But this much I understand, that those who are like Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, they were both Grihasthas. Then later they took sannyas. So they are told Goswamis. Okay, but as such, Raghunath Das Goswami also was a Grihastha. He took sannyas. He told Goswami. But there are other Goswamis who were never Grihasthas. So I don't see any hard and fast rule who is told and who is not. I don't know that. Is it okay,
For
Mataji?
Prabhupada, we don't give this title, right? For Srila Prabhupada, we don't give that call by Goswami title.
Yeah, the Prabhupada explained those who have controlled their senses, they are called Goswamis. So we can call, that is not a issue. But when it is officially given, then it is better.
Then
Like
it
that.
is right.
Yeah,
Yes.
Prabhupada, we have not seen somebody calling like that. Yeah, so I think, yeah, we don't use it. But generally, it is like those who have controlled their senses. Okay, Mataji?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, let's read ahead. Who would like to read? Okay, Jai Shri Mataji.
This movement, can I read?
You can read from here if we consider from till here we read already. Yeah. If we next paragraph.
One should, okay.
If we consider the body.
If we consider the bodily defects of Vaishnava, who should understand that we are committing an offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava. An offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava is very serious. Indeed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described this offense as Hati Mata, the mad elephant offense. A mad elephant can create a disaster, especially when it enters into a nicely trained garden. One should therefore be very careful not to commit any offense against Vaishnava. Every devotee should be ready to take instructions from Superior Vaishnava, and Superior Vaishnava must be ready to help an inferior Vaishnava in all respects. One is superior or inferior according to his spiritual development in Krishna consciousness. One is forbidden to observe the activities of pure Vaishnava from a material point of view. For the neophyte, especially considering a pure devotee from a material point of view is very injurious. One should therefore avoid observing a pure devotee externally, but should try to see the internal features and understand how he is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. In this way, one can avoid seeing the pure devotees from the material point of view, and thus one can gradually become a purified devotee himself. Those who think that
प्रभु जी स्लाइड चेंज नहीं हो रहा है, माताजी बुक से रीड कर रही है, आपका स्लाइड चेंज नहीं हो रहा है।
हाँ सर, एक्चुअली मैं भी बुक से रीड कर रहा था। या माताजी प्लीज कंटिन्यू नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ। या सॉरी।
those who think that Krishna consciousness is limited to a certain section of people, a certain section of devotees, or a certain tract of land are generally prone to see the external features of the devotee. Such neophytes, unable to appreciate the exalted service of the advanced devotee, try to bring the Mahabhagavata to their platform. We experience such difficulty in propagating this Krishna consciousness all over the world. Unfortunately, we are surrounded by neophyte
God brothers who do not appreciate the extraordinary activities of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. They simply try to bring us to their platform and they try to criticize us in every respect. We very much regret their native activities and naive activities and poor fund of knowledge. An empowered person who is actually engaged in the confidence of the Lord should not be treated as an ordinary human being, for it is stated that unless one is empowered by Krishna, one cannot spread the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. When one thus criticizes a pure devotee, he commits an offense, Vaishnava Aparadh, that is very obstructive and dangerous for those who desire to advance in Krishna consciousness. A person cannot derive any spiritual benefit when he offends the lotus feet of Vaishnava. Everyone should therefore be very careful not to be jealous of an empowered Vaishnava or a Shuddha Vaishnava. It is also an offense to consider an empowered Vaishnava an dis, object of disciplinary action. Disciplinary action. It is offensive to try to give him advice or to correct him. One can distinguish between a neophyte Vaishnava and advanced Vaishnava by their activities. The advanced Vaishnava is always situated as spiritual master, and neophyte is always considered his disciple. The spiritual master must not be subjected to the advice of disciple, nor should a spiritual master be obliged to take instructions from those who are not his disciples. This is sum and substance of Srila Rupa Goswami's advice in the 6th verse.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so Prabhupada is continuing now about the defects. So he is saying if we consider the bodily defects, we should understand that we are committing offense. So basically, he's saying to the extent that we start criticizing a Vaishnava by considering those defects. Okay. But if we are considering for the purpose of associating with a Vaishnava based on their advancement or for keeping the interactions favorable for us, then that is not a aparadh. Okay. But we are just doing what? Identification that yes, this Vaishnava is whom I want to associate with because I can get favorable experience in bhakti and progress in bhakti. Okay. This is one who is like-minded or Sajatiya Satora Snigdha, all that. Okay. Yeah. And if one is criticizing, as Vishnu Drago told, criticism or animosity or hatred toward Vaishnava, that is counted as offense. Okay. Then it is called a Hatimata Aparadh, mad elephant. Yeah. And how to consider who is a superior and not a superior Vaishnava is according to the spiritual development. What are the spiritual development that he mentioned in Madhurya Kadamini itself? That one who is at the stage of Nishtha will have 5 symptoms. I had told earlier also. First is Laya is absent. He has no sleepiness during spiritual activities. Second is Vikshepa, distraction. He doesn't have any distraction during spiritual activity. Third is Apratipatti, no indifference. Means there is no sleep, there is no distraction, and the Vaishnava is like we may have also sometimes we are not sleeping in chanting, we are also not distracted in chanting, but still we may not want to chant extra rounds. That is called indifference to chanting. So this is absent in person who is at the stage of Nishtha. Then there is Rasaswad, means hankering for metal objects. Okay. And Kashaya means anger, greed, illusion, pride, envy, illusion, all these things, 6 things, 6 anarthas which are there. He is not impelled by them. Okay. So these are the characteristics of a person who is at the stage of Nishtha. And then there are more characteristics mentioned in Bhaktivedanta Sindhu for those who are at the stage of Bhav. Means avyarth kalatvam, no wasting time. Priti tad vaste sthale, always desiring to reside at the holy places. Mana shunyata, humility, utter humility. Okay. So all these 9 characteristics are described in that. Okay. So like that we can understand what is the advancement of a Vaishnava. And apart from that, Prabhupada also mentioned that if one is seeing that he has these all symptoms, these are foundational symptoms, and then he's also spreading the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Okay. See, he is saying now. So Prabhupada is saying that we are experiencing difficulty. Okay, from other God brothers who are neophyte. Not all God brothers of Prabhupada were neophyte. Few. Okay. So Prabhupada is saying an empowered person who is actually engaged in confidential service of the Lord should not be treated as an ordinary human being. Okay. So there may be Vaishnavas who are empowered and those who are spreading this Krishna consciousness movement and at the same time have these foundational qualities like that I told at the stage of Nishtha, at the stage of Bhava. These qualities are there. So then we have to understand they are really advanced. But there may be also Vaishnavas who are used as an instrument to spread Krishna conscious movement, but they don't have the other symptoms like laya, means the absence of sleepiness in chanting, reading, hearing, and vikshepa, absence of distraction. These all things are not there. Then you have to consider that yeah, they are advanced, but they are not uh, having the symptoms of the stage of nishtha. Okay, like that. So one has to understand the thing overall, not just one statement of the shastra. Okay, so just taking one statement from here, NOI purport, we can think that one who has made more disciples is more advanced. Okay, one who has uh, more number of temples under him, he is more advanced. So all these external things we can always tell to a Vaishnava that yeah, he's having more projects, he's having more disciples, he's having more Lakshmi coming. So these all externals when we see and attribute advancement of Vaishnava, then it is not correct. They have to be also parallelly complemented with the symptoms of the person at the stage of Nishtha, symptoms of the person at the stage of Bhava. Okay. So both have to be parallelly seen. If you just see externals, then we will be not understanding the advancement of a Vaishnava properly. Okay. And if we see only like disciples or how much money they are getting, how many uh, places they are GBC at. So these all externals are not exclusively to be seen. They have to be seen along with the advancement of a Vaishnava at different stages like Nishtha or Bhava, what characteristics they have like that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so Prabhupada is saying that everyone should therefore be careful, very careful not to be jealous of an empowered Vaishnava or a Shuddha Vaishnava. First, one has to understand how to identify such a empowered Vaishnava or Shuddha Vaishnava by the characteristics mentioned in the scriptures. And then one has to understand that yeah, doesn't have to be jealous with that person, and we don't have to be jealous with anyone. We have to be respectful to everyone. Even Krishneti yas giri tam manasa, once one who has chanted, we have to be respectful. What to speak of that, Prabhupada told even the ant, we have to be respectful like that. That is the nature of a Vaishnava. Okay. Oh, like that. Yeah. It is also an offense to consider the empowered Vaishnava object of disciplinary action. Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes a Vaishnava may be dealt very harshly. Sometimes they may do something which is objectionable and they are dealt too harshly. Then that is also an offense to the Vaishnava. That is inappropriate punishment is given. Inappropriate justice is done like that. Yeah. Yeah. And those who are advanced Vaishnava, they are accepted as spiritual master. And those who are not advanced, they are neophytes, they are his disciples. That is very simple. But one very important point, Prabhupada is writing, spiritual master must be not subjected to advice of a disciple. Nor should a spiritual master be obliged to take instruction from those who are not his disciples. But spiritual masters also need association of equal devotees. Okay. There are other spiritual masters who they are associating with. And that association is very important for them. Yeah, this is sum and substance of Rupa Goswami advice in 6th verse. So the sum and substance is one should not see the faults and criticize the Vaishnavas, seeing the externals. Okay. That's how Rupa Goswami has told in this verse, and that's how Prabhupada has commented. Okay. Any questions? Yes, Balraj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
The question over here that I have is like, okay, we're talking about Vaishnava. Sometimes, but I have a question. It could fall into this category or not, I'm not sure. But sometimes we see like, devotees casually also say like, a disciple does a mistake. Like, ये उस महाराज का disciple है. So, is it a Vaishnava aparad or and the second question is, it is it aparad to the disciple or to the guru basically? I want to understand.
Huh. See, in the scripture, there is principle that somebody who has taken responsibility of a person, if that person does any mistake, then the mistake is also of the person who has taken responsibility of. He also is having that what you say responsibility that he should have trained him properly. So having more disciples is not a problem, but having disciples who are not trained is a problem. Okay. So the guru's responsibility is to properly train the disciple also. If the disciples are not trained, then they will do mistakes also. And they will also bring bad name to the spiritual master. Okay. So that is the responsibility of guru to train the disciples, either to make some system by which they can be trained or train them personally. Is it okay, Prabhuji?
Okay. So, is it under some categorization of aparad then?
Categorization of aparad. Who is doing aparad here?
Like the person who's saying actually. No, right?
Person who is
Saying. Suppose I'm saying that so and so person is has done so and so like nothing, and he is disciple of so and so Maharaj. So, am I doing aparad to Maharaj? That's what my question.
no. See, the aparad is only when you have hatred, malice, or criticism.
Criticism.
Yeah,
So,
if you are willingly and knowingly criticizing that disciple or guru also and spreading bad name, trying to bring them down, okay, so then it is aparad. But if you are safeguarding yourself from associating from them because they have some faults, that is not aparad.
okay.
Okay.
Understood.
Yeah, that is the point.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Okay. So then we will see the Bhagavad Gita 9.30. Okay, Pratik Kumar Prabhu, you have any question? Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, is Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari same as Kanishta devotees, Madhyama devotees, and Uttama devotees? Is it same?
No, they are not same. Okay. See, Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari is a terminology introduced by Rupa Goswami. They are not the terminology of Srimad Bhagavatam. Whereas there are three devotees, Kanishta Bhagavat, and Madhyama Bhagavat and Uttama Bhagavat. They are the three terminologies used in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So they are different. What is the difference? Difference is Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, Uttama Adhikari. All three are Adhikari. They are qualified to practice bhakti. Okay. They are all qualified to practice bhakti. So they can be either Madhyam Bhagavat or Uttama Bhagavat. Okay. Whereas when Bhagavatam says Kanishta person, so Bhagavatam is not accepting them as devotee at all because they are not accepting the Vaishnavas and respecting the Vaishnavas. They only do worship of deity. Okay. They are worshipping the deity, they are respecting the deity, but they don't accept the devotees. So they are not categorized as even Kanishta Adhikari. They are outside the Adhikar of practicing bhakti. Is it confusing? Okay, I'll just tell in short. It is, see, all Kanishta Madhyama and Uttamadhikari can be classified as either Madhyam Bhagavat or Uttam Bhagavat. Kanishta Bhagavat is not a devotee. Okay. Yeah.
All three adhikaris are either Kanishta, Madhyama, or Uttam Bhagavat. Either of.
No, no, no.
Bhagavan.
No, no. I think Mataji understood. You can tell Mataji.
What I understood is, Prabhuji, that Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari, they are those devotees who are eligible for being a Kanishta, Madhyama, or Uttama. And devotee, I mean, there are two categories of devotees which are described in Bhagavatam. That is Madhyama Bhagavat and Uttama Bhagavat. And Kanishta, there is no term called as Kanishta Bhagavat. Means those devotees who only worship deities and they don't respect devotees, they are not even Kanishthas.
No, no, no. Okay, no. No, no. What I'm saying, see, Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari, they are terminology of Rupa Goswami. They are all devotees. Okay. When Bhagavatam is saying Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttama, in that Kanishta is not devotee. Okay. Kanishta is not a devotee. Why? Because he is not yet respecting a Vaishnava. Okay. So, from this, we can conjecture, we can understand that Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari and Uttama Adhikari, they all three are devotees, so they cannot be Kanishta Bhagavat. They cannot be Kanishta of the Bhagavatam. They have to be either Madhyama Bhagavat or Uttama Bhagavat. Okay, I don't have my pen, otherwise I would have written and clearly told, but hope it is clear. Okay. Is it clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
If
ठीक है.
Adhikaris, then they are coming under the category of either Madhyama Bhagavat or
Or
Uttama.
Uttama Bhagavat. Yes, yes. Not Kanishta. Because Kanishta are, they are not devotees at all because they are not they are not respecting Vaishnavas. Okay, like that. Any other question? Okay, so we have completed this 6th verse. Next time we will do the 7th verse. So there was a question asked by Priyagarani Mataji whether these Apichet Suduracharo, these devotees are something they have done in past and now they are devotees, or are they still doing and we are considering them pure devotees? So I'm just going to show the commentary of Vishwanath Thakur on that verse and then we'll end. So those who want to leave may leave. Okay. And those who want to hear the answer to that question can stay back. Okay. Okay. Is my screen visible, Mataji? Priyagarani Mataji? Hope you are there.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Mataji. Yeah. So can you read this translation of Vishwanath Thakur? What you have mentioned here?
Even if the most sinful person worships me with no other desire than to please me, I consider that person to be my devotee as he has fixed himself completely in me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Read this.
My attachment to my devotee is my very nature. That attachment does not decrease even if the devotee commits wrong, for I make him come up to the highest standard. If someone with bad conduct, addicted to violence, thievery, or adultery, suduracharaha, worships me and worships no one except me, and does not follow any other process like karma or gyan, and has no other desire than my desire, ananya bhak, he is my devotee, sadhu. But considering his bad conduct, how is he a devotee? He is to be respected, mantavya, as a devotee because of his devotee qualities. It is a command. Not doing so is offense. My order is the authority.
So basically, what is happening here, Vishwanath Thakur is asking a question from the side of opponent, and he's answering the question. Okay, that is the style of his commentary. So the opponent is asking, oh, but considering his bad conduct, how is he devotee? He's having a bad conduct. He's doing adultery, thievery, violence. How is a devotee then? So he's answering, no, no, no. He is respected, Mantavya, because of his devotee qualities. Okay, like that. Yeah. Yeah. Continue.
So he should be considered a devotee in that portion where he worship you, and as a non-devotee in that portion where he commits adultery. No, he should be considered as a devotee, eva, in all his parts. You should not see his bad qualities at all. He is completely convinced, samyak vyavasthitaha. He makes a splendid resolution. I will go to hell for my sinful actions, which are hard to give up, but I will not give up dedicated worship of Krishna.
Yeah, so this was the question I think you were asking. So, okay, Miss, should he be considered devotee because now he's given up the bad habits and previously he was addicted to bad habits. So, is it should we consider him now as devotee? So, he's saying, okay, is he devotee in that part where he is worshipping you and not devotee when he commits adultery? So, suppose 1 hour of the day he does thievery, so he is not a devotee. And other 23 hours he is chanting Hare Krishna. So, that time he is devotee. Is it like that? So, he says, no. 24 hours is my devotee. Why? Because he has this consciousness. I will go to hell for my sinful actions. And I am doing something bad. I know it is not good. I have to give it up. But my conditionings are so strong, my pushings are so strong from past life or this life that I have to indulge into it without my own willingness. Okay. Like that he's saying. So is it clear, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So I will like to point out one more thing here. Next verse that will be more bring more clarity to this. Shipram bhavati dharmatma saswat santim nigachati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Yeah, so yeah, read this.
Very quickly, he becomes a righteous person and becomes completely devoid of contamination. O son of Kunti, you declare that my devotee never perishes.
Yeah. So yeah, read this.
How can you accept the worship of such a sinful person? How can you eat the food and drink offered by a heart contaminated with lust and anger? Very quickly, he becomes righteous. The present is used and not the future to express the fact that having committed sin by remembering the Lord, he becomes repentant and thus very quickly becomes righteous. Oh, how fortunate I am! There is no one as low as I, bringing bad name to the devotees. Repeatedly, Shashwat, he feels completely need for Nitram, disgust, Shantim for those actions. Or the use of the present tense can indicate that in the future he will develop righteousness fully. But even right now it exists in a subtle form. After taking medicine, though the destructive effects of fever or poison remains for some time, it is not considered seriously. Thus, with the entrance of bhakti in his mind, the sinful actions are not taken seriously, and the traces of sin, such as lust and anger, should be considered insignificant, like the biting of a toothless snake.
Yeah.
Thus, he attains nigachati, complete cessation of lust and anger, shantim, permanently shashvat. In nigachati, ni stands for nitaram, completely. This means that even during the stage of having tendency to commit sin, he has a pure heart.
Yeah, see this statement that even though he is at the stage of having tendency to commit sin, he has a pure heart. Means his faith is pure that yes, I want to worship the Lord and I want to give this up. Okay, that faith is there, but he has past conditioning. His swabhava is not yet pure. Okay, I read it.
If he eventually becomes righteous, there would be no argument. However, if a devotee is sinful right up till his death, what is his position? The Lord, affectionate to his devotees, then speaks loudly with a little anger. O son of Kunti, my devotee is not destroyed. At the time of death, he does not fall.
Yeah, somebody may say, oh, but Lord, you are saying that quickly will become righteous, but we are seeing this person is committing thievery, adultery, violence till the end of his life. You are saying very quickly you will become righteous, but he is not becoming. He is doing a year after year like Ajamila. He was doing till the age of 88 years. So how you are saying that he will be he righteous? So Lord is becoming angry on such a person. Okay. So, O son of Kunti, you go and proclaim that at the time of death he does not fall because he has faith in me and he is having that goal of doing my bhakti, but he also has these conditionings in his life. That's what he's saying. Yeah, please read.
But arguers with harsh tongues will not respect this. Krishna then encourages the worried, lamenting Arjuna, O Kaunteya, going to the squabbling assembly with a tumultuous sound of drums, throwing your hands in the air, you should fearless declare this. Declare what? Declare that my devotee, the devotee of the Supreme Lord, though committing sin, does not perish, but rather reaches success. Arguments defeated, pride deflated, they should undoubtedly respect you as a guru. This is Sridhar Swami's explanation. But why does the Lord order Arjuna to declare this when he could do it himself? As he will say later, Mam evashyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. I declare to you that you will truly come to me. You are very dear to me. Bhagavad Gita 1865. In the same way, why does he not now say, I declare Kaunteya that my devotee does not perish? The reason is explained here. The Lord considered as follows, being affectionate to my devotee and not tolerating even a slight degradation of my devotee. I will under all circumstances uphold the declaration made by my devotee, whereas I can break my own promise and accept criticism of myself, just as in breaking my own promise in fighting with Bhishma, I fulfilled Bhishma's promise. Thus, hearing a declaration from my mouth, the materialistic disputers will laugh, but they will accept Arjuna's declaration as if written on stone. Therefore, I will have Arjuna make the declaration. And thus, one should not accept the statements of the falsely intelligent persons who, after hearing about Ananya Bhakti, even of the greatest sinner, think that this declaration made by the pure devotee cannot apply in cases where attachment to wife and children, sinful acts, lamentation, illusion, lust, anger, and other despicable qualities manifest.
Yeah. So I hope it is clear. So Krishna Thakur is very clearly saying that he is devotee on all his parts, and he should not be defamed because he has a pure heart and he is thinking that let me go to hell for all the bad activities which I may be doing because I just want to serve the Lord. Okay. But somehow these conditioning are so strong that I am not able to give them up. Okay. That is the point. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. So anybody else has any question, any comments, any feedback? Okay. So then we will continue next Saturday with the verse number 7 and verse number 8 on Sunday. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
I have one.
Yeah.
Now, as we just discussed, there could be some very good devotees, but who are doing sins in their material life. Could there be some very good people who are very good in material life, but they are not devotees? So what happens to them?
Yeah. So they may not have bad, you are saying conduct, like some devotees may have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They
when
they are excellent. I mean, they are very good, but then they are not devotees. So what happens to them?
Yeah. So see, they are excellent and they are good because that is their past good karma, pious activities. Because of pious activities, they got good qualities. They don't have bad habits. Problem is when they in the next life, if the future life they come in bad conduct and they will do bad karma, then they will have bad qualities also. Okay.
Right.
But for devotees, it is not like that. Devotees may have bad conduct now, and they are practicing bhakti, and in this life, next life, or after 5 lives, 10 lives, whatever, as per their intensity of bhakti, that bad quality will go away and they will advance to the stage of bhava and prem. Okay, but these people are uncertain whether they will maintain their bad qualities or good qualities or not. Okay, nothing is there in their hands. Whatever association they come into, they will go into that zone. For devotee, it is different. Okay, and if those people who are having good qualities but not yet devotees, if they come in touch with devotees, they will also become devotees, and they will become very good devotees, because they will not have bad qualities and they will not have that baggage which they have to struggle with during their anath nivritti. Okay, is it okay, Mataji?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll pause here for today. Thank you very much for joining. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Updeshamritam ki jai, Shri Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. We'll meet on next Saturday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.